Welcome. We are back. I just want to give you a quick introduction as to what it is we're talking about. Firstly, we're going to be talking about Binance. So, there's no better way to say this, guys. There's a billion users' accounts for sale on the dark web. Bitcoin's kind of recovering. Your data's for sale. But we do have some good news from Cardano, so I guess that's kind of okay. It's not as bad as I'm making out. Look, we're going to jump straight into it and kind of find out exactly what's going on in the crypto market. As always, back with you every single day. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, as always, to make sure that you kind of give us a good understanding to what you want to hear. Do you want these daily updates of news every single day? If you do, make sure you like the video. And also, if you subscribe to the channel, it gives us a nice idea that we should continue doing what it is that we love to do, and hopefully you enjoy as well. So just overall, guys, as you see, boom, we're bringing up the overall crypto market here. So let's make this full screen, get rid of me. You don't really fancy seeing me too much. I don't even fancy seeing me too much. That's why my mirror is on that side of the wall and not in front of me. So what we're looking at is overall a bit of a recovery across the field, really, in the cryptocurrency market. Now, I'm just going to let me bring up investing in, if I can spell it correctly, investing.com. We're going to have a look at traditional markets. They are overall up, and the Nasdaq is in fact up, which is a bit more of like a risk off sentiment, which is quite good. Major headlines not really giving us too much information. I think it's a bit of a pump because, look, guys, at the end of the week, we are going to have some really quite drastic news, which is almost definitely going to move the market, but I don't know which way. I'll tell you all about that in a second. So overall, yes, we're up. We're looking relatively well. I say relatively. Let's make an emphasis on that relative. Okay, we're not looking good. We are not looking good. We're down like 20% from last month, and even last month we were down by like 50% from where we should have been. Year to date, it's like 70. So let's not get excited, but let's jump into the main bit of news. Binance detects that 1 billion leaked residence records on dark web. The CEO issues a warning. And you can see that warning here. So our threat intelligence detected 1 billion residence records for sale in the dark web, including names, addresses, national ID, mobile, police, and medical records from one Asian country, likely due to a bug. Now, my question to you guys, if you sign up to trade crypto, what country requires to give you your police and your medical record? Or what country is so controlling that they give private companies, or even just use on a very regular basis, your private police and medical records? I mean, in the UK, you give your name, you give your address, and I think you give your mobile, and you don't really have to talk about your medical records, whether you've got some kind of disease or whatever. That doesn't affect the crypto market. It's not needed. Let's think about a controlling country where there's a billion records of police, medical, mobile, address, name, national ID. I'm not saying it, you're not saying it, but I know you're thinking it. That's all I'm going to say. But anyway, this has been, essentially leaked. BNB was trading to the downside, down by just over 0.5%. And basically, like he's called for security measures, but in the end of the day, it's on the dark web. You're not getting that back. It's up for sale. If someone wants to buy it, they're going to buy it. One of the ways in which you can get to the dark web, not because I'm going to say it's a good idea, but just in case maybe you want to check or do whatever, you're going to have to do your own research. I'm not a hacker. One thing I do know is that I use the Brave browser. Some of you will, because you get BAT, basic attention token, for every advert that you watch. Not paid, Brave, if you want to get involved, send me a little message. I'll more than happily take your money. But what you can do is you can open up a window with a Tor connectivity, and this then allows you to access the dark web. And so, as you can see here, your VC, it doesn't matter if your server is bopped around all over the place. So people are not going to know what websites you access, etc., etc. That's one of the ways you can get onto the dark web. But one of the other things that I wanted to point out, that was a little mistake up here, is it a coincidence that Binance tweets that the dark web, tweets on the dark web right after the launch of dark web ERC20. Let's have a look at this token. What is this? Okay, I don't even know if you're going to be able to hear this because I think I've got my AirPods in, but let me boss this up just in case the sound comes. When secret gets revealed, the world might change. Are you ready for that? And it's in this like mad, like computerized metallic noise. Like it's on the same day. Do you know who controls it all? Do you know what lies in the dark web of the crypto world? Everything we know, we will share with you. Be prepared. So they have their one edition every weekend. Believe this is, obviously some kind of launch. The question is how much of this is like a secret pump and dump? My dog is actually going crazy onto my window, which I don't know why. But this is the roadmap of this particular project. Absence of light, embrace the dark. So it can be relatively kind of sinister in a way. It could just be a little pump and dump. But there is definitely some people asking why is it that everything's moved onto the dark web on like right after the launch of this particular coin. I don't know. I've done a little bit of digging. We have seen a massive pump in this particular coin against ethereum. And so I'm just looking at the 15 minutes, guys. Like this is, since what, 2 days ago? Like, yeah, not even quite 2 days ago, maybe like 40 instead of 48 hours. Massive pumps, massive pumps. It might, obviously it's kind of falling to the downside. If the news continues, we're going to see that. But I want to focus on what's going on later on this week. At the end of the week, guys, we have Friday. It's the first Friday of the month. And you know what this means. It means non-farm payrolls. We do have at the beginning of this week, i.e. today, we do not have any stock market. Nobody is doing any trading in the traditional market. And that is because we have non-farm payrolls. So everyone in the US has a nice day off. Some kind of like Independence Day. I don't know who from. Probably not the British. I'm going to say that. Maybe they got like independence from themselves. But the British have never done anything wrong. So I'm going to say it's definitely 4th of July is not correlated to us guys over here. So we'll just move on from that one. But non-farm payrolls, it's basically the employment report release, which happens on the first Friday of every month, as you see here, heavily affects the US dollar. And obviously the strength in the dollar is very much correlated to the rest of the assets in the world. I was going to try and narrow it down, but it doesn't need to be narrowed down. And so this is, and I want to get this right, guys. Individual working sites in order. No, okay. It says non-farm, so it's basically non-farm, and I think then another type of group, and I can't think of it right now. It's very easy to search, so I recommend you do that. But this is basically like all of the office guys and stuff like this. How much, how many people are there in terms of new people joining the economy? This is one thing to see. So this is the payrolls, how many people have been added, which is a very, very big indicator as to how strong is the economy in the US and should you be investing into it. A little bit of a kind of negative news, just quick, update. If this is below expectations, we're going to see a downside to Bitcoin because it's a downside in investor confidence across the whole ecosystem. The stock market will be down, gold will be up because it's a kind of like a reserve of capital and reserve of wealth, and it's no risk basically. But then all of the risky assets will be down because this shows investors that we can't the US can't forecast what's going on. A little bit more kind of negative tone, should we say, FUD. Different trader Honevays, not Vone, Vonevays. Honevays warns of another Bitcoin collapse after a disastrous week. Here's his downside target, basically saying the weekly chart is having a disastrous candle once again. It's a red star candle, going to close near the lows unless there's a monster rally, but it's holiday weekend. We have big news coming out on Friday, which he didn't mention, but obviously we have to look out for. That's why we are 100% cash. The daily chart is getting ready for an MRI, momentum reversal indicator buy. to break very critical support soon. Very critical support, as you guys see, looking at this on the daily, we're seeing this. Yes, we went up and we're down, but ultimately, we're still going down. It's a downward trend. So that's kind of where we're looking at. Again, we have basically a big haters to unite at the first conference for crypto skeptics. It's just like an anti-crypto conference, basically. This is what the fear of saying. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. Well, these guys are definitely going to be doing this one. They're going to be speaking a lot of evil. See you later, Bitcoin. The unfortunate side of things is that Crypto Policy Symposium promises a way for disgruntled naysayers to voice their negativity, so they will be listened to. The main goal of the symposium, as Deli explained, is to me to give policymakers access to the information and material they need to make informed decisions around crypto regulation. And yes, you know what, guys? I will say, with informed decisions, you have to have the good and you have to have the bad. You can't only have one side of the coin. You have to understand the risks that come with this. And I think, yes, this is very bad. Yes, it's going to spread a lot of fear. Yes, it's going to be very bad for Bitcoin in the short term. So it might sound like there's nothing good to say. But in the long term, actually voicing out these concerns and having someone come and tackle them. If you're saying, look, well, I don't want to make Bitcoin a currency in my country, because you're going to have people who can create a wallet and send money without me collecting taxes. If someone comes along and says, well, look, what you can do is, instead of taxing, and I'm covering with this off the top of my head, guys, so allow me. But if someone comes and says, look, you're not going to tax the transactions, you're going to, tax the final amount that's in someone's account, that means you will be able to tax people, even though they're using Bitcoin. And that, you guys can probably shout at me and tell me that's wrong, but I'm in the middle of a thought process and I've just thrown it out there. But some good news finally, guys. Cardano successfully launches its value upgrade on the testnet. So it is behind schedule, which we all know. Let's go look. Coin market cap, not market cap. Coin market cap, lesser known, but also very, very useful. We see the main thing everyone's talking about is the ERC, not the ERC, just the Ethereum. Everyone's talking about Ethereum. Ethereum, hopefully a conference coming up, 90% conviction. Let's have a look at keywords. I want to look at ADA. ADA, baby. Bring me up what's happening. So July, this is where we're kind of expecting this. And on 14th of October, Rare Bloom Cardano Community. Gaylord Rookies, or Rockies. Funny choice. But here we go. So we're looking at, a 93% confidence that it's going to be on the 31st of July or later. This was always scheduled. Even if you look back to one of our previous videos, it was 31st or 30th of June, which is when it was scheduled. But then that since got changed. And as you can see here, you can look through all of the major events on Cardano. There's been quite a lot, which actually I quite like. And you could obviously, bottom, let's bring this back to 2021, very, very good. We like this. We like this a lot. We like a lot of, added stuff being on, listings. This is really good for the market, very good for the coin. And even as the price goes down, we're still having more events. We're still having more listings. We're still having, AMA, for example, for this stable coin. This is really, really good news. So I personally, I believe in Cardano. I really like it. It was the first coin that kind of made me a little bit of money, which was pretty good. Zulu, right. Sorry, guys, I have the wrong mic in. My apologies. Not your crypto. Yes. You know what? I will focus on getting a new mic. I've tried to test it out with my AirPods today, but AirPod Pro apparently not the one. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for sticking around. I'm going to head off now, and I will see you all tomorrow with a better mic. Be sure of it. I'll make sure I plug my other one in. Take care, guys. All the best.